I've been having this vision. Either rise or you fall. I'm on a mission, bringing my dreams to fruition. I ain't playing at all. Bring out the body bags, I'm about to kill them, deliver them to the mortician. I gotta do what I gotta do. That's for my face, back in my face. I gotta do what I gotta do. I pray to God, he never came. I'ma do me, I'ma do me. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change. That's in my blood, I'll never change.
You're watching the 8:05 post show as we just completed an amazing event here at the Hurley Pro Sunset Beach presented by Shiseido. Barron Mamiya, he's the real deal from right here on the North Shore to #1 in the world as a wild card. Maybe second best of the rides in the lineup. The chair up the beach by your best friends. This is the moment you dream of all your life, and it's all happening in real time. All the rankings are changing. His year is changing dramatically as now he might be thinking about a title run this year in 2022. Thanks for being with us on the 8:05 post show. Joe Trappell, Barton Lynch, and Rosie Hodge as we take in that emotion. You know, when you can just script where you'd want to win your first event. All the horns on the street on Cam Highway and in the parking lot were going crazy. As soon as the horn went off, the horns kept blaring in the parking lot in support for the local boy.
Oh, it's an amazing moment. It never gets old. How many events have we called and you end up here to go, oh, it's such a wonderful thing. And that's an amazing story. And it's so great to see this young kid come through and achieve greatness today. The yellow jersey on his back. And then you look at Kanoa Igarashi, who he beat. And he was in incredible form. So
yeah, that was such a great final. Both those surfers were just amazing. But Barron, I mean, that was a huge for him to carry all the way through that event. And I feel like he brought his best in the final, and that's what you have to do.
And you can tell he stayed in that place. He was so good in post-heat interviews going, I'm not celebrating yet. And that's when the emotions just poured when he realized it had happened. And he was backing himself at Pipe more than he was here at Sunset Beach as we check out his road to the final, because he had some crazy challenges throughout the day today. Quarterfinal to start with a Hawaiian named Seth Moniz, one of his good friends, but it looked like Seth was really going to open up in that heat, Rosie.
Yeah, that's such a great matchup. And even Seth at the end of that one, he was like, hey, you know what? I lost to Barron. I'm super happy for him. I want to see him go all the way. So that Hawaiian spirit living on, and really so cool to see those guys, that camaraderie between them.
And then Barron to save himself in a heat that probably Kyo's going, that was mine. He could have shut it down with priority, and he just got the door slightly open, and he took advantage of it.
And you don't win any event without one of those heats along the way, where it's a slippery one, it's a grindy one, and somehow you pull out that win. And he could have just as easily have lost that semi-final if Kyo Belly had used that priority in a way that he most probably wishes he did now. But as it turned out, he got through that and then took, as you said, Rosie, the best form of the event that he has shown into that final.
As we look at the other half of the draw as well, what a great result for Ethan Ewing. Obviously, Kanoa Igarashi, #2 in the world. His best start to date in the first couple stops on tour. Jack Robinson, a rookie named Jake Marshall, really stepped up when he beat John Florence the other day, Rosie.
Yeah, so good to see. I mean, all the young blood on the tour making it into the quarterfinals. Just really cool and refreshing to see this new upswelling of talent.
Let's enjoy Barron surfing on finals day. He earned every bit of this to come out swinging. Gally right there, the coach for Jake and Barron, said, hey, why not ride a 6'4" this morning? And Barron agreed. That carve looked insane with that extra rail line, Barton.
Yeah, well, you can see that he was able to put absolutely everything that he had into those turns, and he was able to drive the rail, and that aggression was what got us all on board and got the judges on board.
And he just found his rhythm. He picked points well. He wasn't really sloppy with his turn selection. Seth was a little beat up and bruised from the last couple of weeks, and he just really couldn't get started.
Yeah, Seth, I mean, we know what he's capable of. We saw it at the Par Pro, and he said he was a bit beat up. He hurt his neck on the Wednesday day of competition. So, yeah, Seth gets the rest now for Portugal, but Barron was on a heater.
And he was really steel-faced in this semifinal, and Kyo had gotten a bit emotional before he paddled out for this matchup, yo.
Yeah, it's you'll see he needed a 3.3. I think he got the 3.8 at the end, just squeaked it in and rode it all the way through to the inside, because he knew he got the outside turn, but he wasn't sure if that was enough. And it might not have been. And he got this little bonus inside here. All of it added up, got the 3.8, got through to the final. and created history.
That was a huge turning point because Kaio had priority and was like, yeah, you can have it. Doesn't look like there's enough on it. He might be thinking about that move for a long time. And then into the final against Kanoa. Things finally got started after a bit of jockeying, and his recipe for 2 big turns really was the big difference.
Definitely, and just seeing that aggression right in the face of his competitor. And like you said, Joey, it took a while for him to warm up into this final, but then went back-to-back waves and just lit them up.
And I suppose the fact that Kanoa didn't put pressure on him early, and Kanoa was a little bit off game and only had that 5-5, and it was like, okay, it allowed Barron to build that momentum without the pressure being applied, and Kanoa felt like a different guy in that final, and the momentum and the energy all went this young man's way.
So incredible. I think Noah Beshan's probably lost his voice from all the screaming he's done first thing in the morning, cheering on one of his best friends, and what a feeling, getting chaired up your beach and about to celebrate with everyone that you love the most right here in Hawaii. It's going to be a similar story for Brisa Hennessy. As we know, representing Costa Rica after about 9 years of age. All of her competitive surfing was right here on Oahu, so she's had a ton of time at Sunset Beach. It was another emotional story as well, where we had a fresh look at a quarterfinals. I mean, I was trying to dig through, BL, when the last time the world champs weren't involved in a final series, and it's been forever. It's just, it doesn't happen. It was an event in Cascais years ago where Carissa and Tyler were knocked out in round 4, and Steph happened to be injured. It's so rare. It truly felt like a change of the guard moment.
And it happened on both sides of the draw, both genders. You know, John Kelly gone, Steph, Tyler, Carissa gone. It was like, whoa, and both of them lined up almost identical regardless of the gender, as we see there. There's the W next to Brisa Hennessy's name.
Brisa Hennessy had the high score from yesterday in the high 8s. She turned that into a big 9 today. Really showed no weaknesses on finals day, Ro.
Yeah, I mean, Brisa was the woman to beat. I mean, from that semi-final against Betty Lou, I mean, looking at Betty Lou and the way that the surfing that she's been doing, she was such a tough competitor. Brisa just took that heat stranglehold, started with the 9.
And then you've got to go India Robertson, Molly Picklum, Luana Silva, Gabriella Bryan. All of those young ladies were incredible this event. And really, I'm sure if you're the established guard, you would be a little bit worried moving forward, because the signs are ominous. These young ladies are incredible.
It definitely feels like something's changing. Tribute to a talented rookie class as we check out Brisa's run from that quarterfinal that she had yesterday. This was yesterday afternoon. Waves were still very solid, and it was against Molly Picklum. Remember, Molly's the one that took out Carissa Moore. This is a big heat, Rosie.
Yeah, huge heat for Brisa. I mean, besides the surfing that Brisa had done up to this point, she also said she had one of the beatings of her life that she felt out there. So, you know, these women, the endurance, the fitness, all that training, it all came into play. And Brisa obviously putting in so much time and effort behind the scenes.
And it's kind of interesting with Molly and also Brisa. They both work with Micro, so they spar together a lot, and they really let each other have it. That was fun to see those two go back and forth. And then this wave happened today, straight into a 9 in the semifinal.
A great way to start, and I think what happened was Brisa just got better and better, heat after heat, and she didn't show everything that she had early, and early I was kind of like, well, it looks a little bit uncomfortable, but that comfort factor just started to build heat by heat, and by the end of today, she's really comfortable.
She looks like she's added more power. Her flow in between turns was incredible. Her relationship with Glenn is insane. They just have such a great package working together in the water. And then she took that into the final, and it was a crazy emotional scenario with Mamiya Manuel chasing her first win and the true veteran in that matchup, Rosie.
Yeah, I mean, Mamiya, just hats off to her for making the final. Obviously, that elusive win on the championship tour slipped through her fingers again, but she was amazing throughout this event. So huge congrats to her. But for Brisa, she deserved this win. She created the opportunities that we saw in the final, and she ran with it. So I'm very impressed, super proud of Brisa.
You just get that chicken skin feeling when a surfer achieves that very first win. It doesn't happen at a lot of events because of world champs and people that get on a roll. But to have it happen on the men's and women's side today, that's extra special.
Yeah, extra special. And thinking of Mamiya Manuel, just send out our respect for her. 7 finals without a win now, but there's got to be one around the corner.
And she seems to be in a really incredible place. And you think about her consistency in the last 3 out of 4 seasons. She's had at least a semifinal berth in the first 2 events, now a final, so a step better. And I think that's the benefit of kicking things off in Hawaii as well, Rosie.
100% for Mamiya. This is a great start to the season. And as that wild card, WSL wild card for the season, I mean, that just might just also alleviate that pressure for her as she's filling in a different kind of role.
Yeah, start thinking about relief of that mid-season cut, because that is in the back of everyone's mind. Malia's going to be feeling fantastic, probably knowing now that G-Land is looking like a great possibility on the back half of the year. We're going to take a quick break. The 805 post show continues. When we come back, it's time for the presentation. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the awards presentation for the Hurley Pro Sunset Beach, presented by Shiseido. What a great day of surfing. Let's give it a hand. Oh, the second stop on the championship tour right here at Sunset. We started off in Hawaii, and what a performance and what a start it was. How great was it to have Sunset Beach back on the schedule for both the men and the women? Let's give it up. That is so, and of course, we're so grateful to be kicking off the championship tour here in Hawaii, the birthplace of He'enalu, the birthplace of surfing, both culturally as well as a competitive sport. I'd like to mahalo nui, the Kanaka Maoli, the natives. Also, to all the Kama'aina who live here, thank you for your support. You know, for generations, our culture and people have embodied the true aloha spirit and continue to perpetuate the art of surfing and being stewards for the land. We want to take care of the land, malama aina, take care of the ocean, malama kekai, and take care of Sunset Beach, malama pau malu. Of course, we got to thank all of our sponsors. First and foremost, thank you, Hurley. Thank you to Shiseido, Red Bull, Oakley, Hydro Flask, Javianas, you guys too, Expedia, Flying Embers, Pura Vida, Spectrum, of course, our local surf channel, 805 Beer, and The Fin. And also thank you, the local community of the North Shore, for your support of professional surfing. Give yourselves a hand. got some beautiful trophies here, handcrafted by local artist Ruben Ira Jr. These trophies are made from upcycled surfboards. They're one-of-a-kind pieces of art, and they have a special value to celebrate this Hurley Pro Sunset Beach. So these are some beautiful, beautiful one-of-a-kind trophies. We also like to thank Lulu's, Lays, and Bouquets locally here in Haleiwa for the beautiful lei that we are going to be presenting to our finalists as well. So let's get it on and present some trophies. With me is Jesse Miley Dyer, Senior Vice President of Tours and Head of Competition, to help out all of the awards presentation over here. All right, let's get to the men's. Men's runner-up, an inspired performance here at Sunset Beach. A great performance overall here in the Hawaii leg. Let's give it up for runner-up, Kanoa Igarashi. So I want a quick word with you, Kanoa. Quarterfinals at Pipe, runner-up here at Sunset. You had a good run in this Hawaii leg.
Yeah, wow, I'm actually really happy. You know, coming to Hawaii for so many years now, growing up in Huntington Beach, this has always been the place where I really needed to work, and I've always had a lot of struggles, and just with my surfing, and over the years I've had to really work on it. And you know, just coming here and seeing so many familiar faces, and I have so many friends here, and it just means a lot, because somewhere where I felt so uncomfortable before, I'm able to kind of, you know, feel a little bit more comfortable and get some scores and put some results up. So thanks to everyone. I'm really happy to be here and be able to go into Portugal with a couple good results.
Great job. Let's give it up for Kanoa Igarashi. All right. I'd like to call the women's runner-up, and a Hawaiian who made the Garden Isle very proud. Hailing from Kauai, let's give it up for Mamiya Manuel. Beautiful surfing, Mamiya, and a great performance here at Sunset. Definitely an inspired performance with every single one of the heats in the water.
Well, thank you.
Your thoughts going into stop number 3 in Portugal. Here's the deal. You barely made the cut. You didn't make the cut. You got the wild card this year, right? And now you're up there on the rankings. You're a powerhouse in 2022. Things have changed for you in a big way.
Thank you. Yes, it was a tough end for my year, but I was so close, and I was very thankful to Jesse and everyone at WSL to give me the opportunity to have a wild card in this first half of the year, and you know, that really gave me motivation to prove that to myself that I still wanted it, and you know, I'm here, I'm back.
Mamiya's back. All right. Now for our men's champion for the Hurley Pro Sunset Beach, presented by Shiseido, making the North Shore proud, born and bred, your 22 champion. Let's give it up for Barron, the prodigy, Mamiya. Wow. Come over here. Yeah, that's right. Kamehameha Highway loves it too. Let's get that photo. Okay, man, I know you a long time, man. I've seen you come up, and now you're a champion. Coming in here as a wild card and taking out the big W. What do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly speechless. Like, it doesn't even feel real. Like, I feel like I'm in a dream, and I just can't believe it. I want to thank, you know, all my friends and family. You know, my mom, my dad. You know, my dad's sacrificed so much for me, and I want to thank Sean Ward too. You know, he's been there since day one, and he's really helped me so much through a lot of tough times. Yeah, I just can't believe it. I just want to say thanks to everyone for coming down, and yeah.
I got another question for you. How's it feel? You're #1 in the world.
Honestly, I wasn't even like at the end of last year, like I was really bummed. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was definitely like really bummed with my performance in 2021. I didn't make a heat on the QS, and I just was coming off an injury, and there was just a lot of things that were just not going my way. And, you know, this is just, I can't believe it. You know, I wasn't even on tour, and I got into pipe through a wild card, and then I got another wild card here. So, I mean, I'm super stoked.
Barron Mamiya! Now let's turn our attention to our women's champion. An inspired performance again. Your champion for 2022, the Hurley Pro Sunset Beach, presented by Shiseido, Brisa Hennessy. She told you were going to win. Good job. Well, good prediction. All right, Brisa, I want to get some words from you because big day, first championship tour final, first championship tour victory.
Wow, yeah. Like Barron said, I have no words also, but I think you definitely reflect and think about all those moments that brought you here and made you who you are. I barely made it on into the CT. I had to go to the Challenger Series, and that was an emotional roller coaster. And yeah, I think that it's the people that are behind you in your village that make you who you are and really are your light. So, of course, you know, my family, my friends, my mom and dad, my grandparents, Glenn Hall, who was with me since the beginning in my rookie year and has seen me grow and has seen me at my lowest. But, yeah, I'm super, super grateful.
You made history. First championship tour victory for Costa Rica. You did it for an entire nation. Your feelings on that?
Yeah, wow. Like I said, Costa Rica has given me so much. It's it's literally given me the gift of surfing, given me the gift of the ocean, and given me the gift of connection to so many people around the world. So I hope I can carry the love of Puerto Vida around the world, and hopefully, yeah, inspire people.
Well, Brisa, I hear you look good in yellow because you're going to be in the leader's jersey when we hit stop number 3 in Portugal. Let's give it up for Brisa Hennessy. Back to the 805 Post Show.
Thank you so much, Kaipo. That was incredible. Our champions on stage. Barron Mamiya, Brisa Hennessy, talking about digging deep. Both with challenges from last year, and now on top of the world, literally wearing yellow, heading into Portugal, stop number 3. Great comeback story for Mamiya Manuel as well as a wild card in Kanoa with one of the best starts he's had to date. He is dangerous in Hawaii, and he kind of has been. He talked about early struggles, but at Pipe, he always turns in at least quarterfinal results. He finaled back in the day, but it's great to see his comfort factor on land and water really be appreciated today up on stage, Barton.
Yeah, well, you know, he wants this dream, doesn't he? He wants it bad, and so you can't get it without performing here in Hawaii. He said it made him uncomfortable. He didn't like it at all, and he's learned to love it, and he's becoming more and more comfortable.
Yeah, really cool. And looking at Barron, you know, he's quiet for words because there's so much emotion inside of him. I think he's just slowly letting out. I'm sure later on tonight with his close friends, it'll just all let out of his system as he'll prepare for what might be a title race kind of year for Barron Mamiya.
Yeah, so amazing. Even just to hear him summarize 2021 for him was such a write-off, and then to be in this big moment and realizing his potential going into Portugal world number 1. What is he, 22 years old?
22, just turned last month, born in the year 2000. So what a run for a wild card as we see the rankings changing dramatically after stop number 1 of the season. On the women's side, Brisa Hennessy for Costa Rica will be number 1 in the world for the first time in her career. Mamiya Manuel right behind her. Wild card story continues for Moana Jones-Wong as she is third in the world, heading into stop number 3.
Amazing. Then you see Carissa Moore there at number 4, Tyler Wright down at number 6, and then a few rookies in a row, Gabriella Bryan, Betty Lou and Isabella Nichols right there in that top 10 as well.
Rosie, you can't stop thinking about the cut. I mean, there is Portugal, Bells, Margaret River. One name we're waiting to see rise up will be Stephanie Gilmore, certainly feeling the pressure heading over to Europe.
Yeah, that's such a great point, Joey. Just looking further down that top 10 and all those women that are now stop number 2, now they're going to be scratching their heads. They can't afford to let off the gas as we head into that mid-year cut. It's such a scary situation because the depth of talent is so amazing on the Women's Championship Tour. I feel like it's a lot more ruthless for the women than it sometimes feels like for the men.
So true. As we flip the script to the men's side and look at the leaderboard, it's a wild card wearing yellow, the theme we had from Moana Jones-Wong heading into sunset. The men are feeling that as well for Mamiya. Kanoa in a nice spot at number 2. Seth Shear, best start to date. You could say the same thing for Kaya Wibeli, Barton.
You sure could. 2 semi-finals back-to-back. It has him in 4th place. The great Kelly Slater there on the virtue of the pipeline result. And not such a great event here at Sunset, but it was great that he showed up and had that yellow jersey on. And then look, Geordie Smith and John Florence rounding out the top 10, Rosie.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see John down at number 10. You'd think pet events for John, obviously starting in Hawaii, but then you look further into the schedule and you recognize that Bells, Margaret River, definitely suited surfing, and he's done quite well there.
And also clinching in Portugal that first world title back in 2016. So always great things to come if your name's John. As these two continue to celebrate. Barron Mamiya, number 1, heading into the Male Pro Portugal, which all starts March 3rd. It's a different time of the year, what we're used to in late October. All things that we've been hearing is that it's more consistent to score Super Tubos, fingers crossed, but it's much colder. 4-3 booties in a hood. That's kind of nice. We got a cold water event on tour.
Just coming out of winter there, so you've got those big Atlantic storms that are going to push swell down into Super Tubos. So definitely going to be interesting to see that event. And you look at Barron Mamiya, and that wave is a lot like Pipeline on sand, so he's going to love that place too.
What a great opportunity for the whole tour to go to Portugal. Rosie, you competed out there as well. What are you looking forward to seeing?
I adore Portugal. It's one of those places that you get there and you're like, oh, I could live here. But yeah, I think this switch up of the waiting period, like you said, the locals have told us that this is the time of year where it really comes to life. So I'm interested to see what Super Tubos has to offer.
Can't wait. Before we get there, it's time for the top 5 of the finals day here on the 805 Post Show. Coming in at number 5 on the list, representing Japan on tour, semifinal number 2, Kanoa Igarashi just drilled this 9.03, Barton.
Yeah, he was so close to being the number 1 pick of the day, wasn't he? It felt like going into that final that he had all the momentum going his way out of the semi-final. The 9.03, that first turn was magic.
So solid and so consistent is Kanoa Igarashi. He did not flinch on the big sections. One of my favorite turns of finals day.
Just a ruthless unleashing of the rail. But he had to surf like this because he had Ethan Ewing, and both of these guys were trading excellent scores. So he had to level up in the semi-final.
He looks so confident in that position. Congrats on getting number 5, Kanoa. You definitely earned every bit of that space. Coming in number 4, the buzzer beater moment. Kaya with priority. Lets Barron Mamiya go, chasing a 3-range score, and ends up turning it on Kaya Wibeli. This was Kaya's form leading up to that moment, Barton.
Yeah, he was in great form. Beautiful surfing. The board looked fantastic under his feet. And it just goes to show one little mistake, one choice of wave, whether to go it or not. You just decide not to. He goes, well, I may as well. Look at the wave. It's a pretty junky wave, but at the same time, he only needed the 3-3. So giving him any chance, a surfer of his ability, there's every chance that he could get the score.
Came in at a 3.87, and there was a little bit of silence waiting for the score. Like, well, how will they score that inside section? He definitely had some big turns to earn that number, Rosie.
Yeah, just watching this one unfold, that was decided on the beach. And you see that emotion because there was that question mark on that wave, whether it was going to be the number, and he just got it.
Number 3, Brisa Hennessy, kind of caught everybody off guard and threw us straight to our feet when she opened up with a 9 today on finals day.
Yeah, made her first CT final, became the first Costa Rican to make a final and to win an event. So a historic moment for that up-and-coming surf nation.
That 9 was so exciting because we saw a bit more size in the swell, and it was her first wave of the day. That was insane.
Yeah, I mean, to think about how you kind of forecast your perfect run through a competition on finals day, Brisa just read that script and she just ran with the opportunities that she was given. She built throughout the day. Super fun to watch her.
Coming at number 2, wild card, local boy, Barron Mamiya turned local hero with a performance like this, taking out the Sunset title as a wild card.
And I keep wondering what's going to be number 1 then. Because we've seen Brisa, we've seen Barron Mamiya, the 2 champions. Barron Mamiya just surfed amazing, and he switched that energy up in the final, didn't he, Rosie? Like he stole it from Kanoa.
Well, I love the fact that they've added in the ambient noise from the beach with each turn, because this is what we were hearing here from the booth, is just the beach erupting, that crowd, that noise, that energy. You know, Barton, you said it was so funny when Barron got to the sand, is they're going to fight over who's going to cheer him up, because everyone was so excited to see him take out this big win.
So special. Number 1, there is the champion for the women's side, Brisa. Hennessy takes out her first championship tour win on a wave where she's put in a lot of time in her 3rd season against the top 17, and now she's world number 1.
And I get it, she had 2 entries in the top 5, the semi-final and the final, and why shouldn't she? Amazing surfing. And again, this was a tough day at the office because the waves were difficult to choose. You had to create rhythm. There was a lot of things that went into success, and she did it. She pulled it off. Congratulations.
And just in disbelief there is Brisa Hennessy. I mean, she's one of the kindest souls on tour, so giving of her time. When she shares the booth with us, she's always like, thank you so much. But no, thank you. It's just like, she's so polite, so kind, but such a hard worker, and she deserves every bit of glory today. Interested to see what she's going to do for the rest of the year. Next question always is, how do they wear yellow? Sometimes it feels nervous, like they're trying not to drop it, and some treat it as a lot of confidence moving forward. What's your prediction there, Rosie?
I think Brisa's going to run with this. I think she's done a lot of hard work on her surfing, on her equipment. She's got a great team behind her, so I don't see her running out of steam this season.
But also looking at this feeling where everything's getting flipped upside down, new winners, you know, it's top 2, and that continued the theme from Juana Jones-Wong at Pipeline. It's just a bunch of fresh faces. What's that telling you for 2022, BL? Are we going to see new champions and new event winners from start to finish?
Well, we didn't or couldn't have believed that Kelly Slater would still be with us. Still with us and in great form. Kanoa Igarashi proved that he is a world title threat this year without question, amongst a bunch of sort of lesser experienced guys. So he's in a good place. But it is those young, that's the story of this event, and the story leading into Portugal is that there's a whole new guard on both tours who are really taking it to the established men and women, and that's going to be the interesting thing to watch.
There is this excitement in sport when you just get surprised, when your fantasy team gets smoked. It's actually a nice feeling. Because you're seeing good surfing, you're seeing all this hard work, and it's a testament to how hard it is to call yourself the best surfer in the world and to be on the top 34, top 17.
Definitely. Well, I think the question for me now is, who's going to be the Rookie of the Year? I mean, you're looking at all the young faces. You're looking at all five of the rookies into the quarterfinals of this event. Like, who is going to take it? Who's going to take that top honor?
And there's people that are going to be left out from the back end of the year that you'll be just blowing your mind on why they're not in the jersey for the second half of the year. And with that rookie charge, 5 in the quarters out of 8 spots, you know, there's going to be people missing heading into G-Land.
Big names missing, and there were big names not in that top 10 on both sides that we just looked at. So ominous signs for the established guard. They better pick it up because the young guns are coming.
Well, it's been a pleasure, you guys. For Barton Lynch, Rosie Hodge, I'm Joe Turpel. Thanks so much for watching. For the rest of our crew at WSL and our amazing production team, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at the Male Pro Portugal, presented by Rip Curl on March 3rd.